All right. This is going to be my little worst of 2024 video. Some of the worst films of 2024. There goes my cat. I'm going to probably do a best of video, but we're going to start with the worst. Okay, we're going to start with our dessert for my little two-parter here. I only have a couple, so this is a narrow list. But some honorable mentions. Old Dads from Bill Burr's latest. His first director's outing, I think. He's been in movies before. He did King of Staten Island and a couple other things, but yeah, it wasn't bad like all these honorable mentions, but it was just a little disappointing, especially since he's one of the best comedians ever. Next would probably be Moana 2. It was just very middle of the road. Another sequel that just did not do the same thing as the first in terms of quality, and that's Gladiator 2. Gladiator 2, it wasn't bad. Again, it just didn't capture that specialness the first one had. And let's get into it. So Rebel Moon. So we're gonna do it a little differently. We're gonna do it based on the best of the worst to steal from Red Letter Media. So the very most enjoyable movie of all this bunch is gonna be first. Sixth on this list is gonna be Rebel Moon Part 2. The Scargiver. Zack Snyder just rips it, gives you such a great movie, and then takes it right back with two bad movies back to back. I thought Snyder Cut Justice League was fantastic. I thought that movie was. People talk about superhero movies, and it was just so perfect. It's everything you would want, I felt. But yeah, this was just awful. This was a truly, truly awful movie. It's indescribable. It's something you have to watch for yourself. Sit around and our characters sit around a table, and each person explains their tragic backstory. It is some of the most forced, corny writing and story structure I've seen in a big director, big action blockbuster. It was just, I could not possibly imagine watching this in theaters. So maybe it's not such a bad thing. Snyder's in Netflix jail, or whatever the hell you want to call it. The Front Room. Just, I rolled my eyes. I rubbed my forehead. I sighed so many times in this movie. Their concepts are there. The tone is almost there. There's a couple cool camera shots, but it's either forcing the themes way too much, or it's not. So yeah, whatever Eggers brother that directed this, they just do something else, man. Think of something different. Blink Twice from Zoe Kravitz. This one might be the best one on this list, if I'm honest. It's not terrible. There's some good premises. It's well acted, and I mean, as I'm thinking about it, maybe my 2-star review was too harsh. But I don't know, just something in the middle of the movie, you just felt the pacing go completely down. I was into it. I liked the themes. I don't know. It's directed pretty well for a first movie, but it just feels like Zoe It feels like too much of a bottle movie. And the trigger warning at the beginning of this movie was so ridiculous. As if there's anything crazy shocking in this. It was a good first outing, but ultimately I expected more from this movie. The fourth on this list is going to be Bob Marley One Love. Again, just another movie that I expected to be either good or all right. It was just bad, or it just dragged. I appreciate that it focused on like a smaller section of his life, but it just ultimately didn't really do it for me. Tuesday, the movie starring Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Tuesday might be the most interesting of this list. It's about Julia plays a abusive mother, but pretends to love her daughter. At least that's how I read it. And like there's themes of death and really interesting concepts. I was there for it. The first like 30 minutes are very intriguing. And the very first, the top of the list, Madam fucking Web. What a picture. I mean, I went to see this. I planned on seeing it, of course, because it also didn't look terrible. I saw this with two of my friends, and we had the best time laughing at this thing. Well, with one of my friends, her girlfriend, she said, "Oh, I liked it I liked it. I didn't think it was bad." And it's like, that's the sort of person that only watches a couple movies a year. So when they do watch a bad movie, it's like, I mean, what do I have to compare that to? Yes, just one of the most memorable theater experiences, one of the most memorable movie experiences. I mean, everybody knows Madam Web. It's like Morbius, but it had a different quality to it, like a more accessible, so bad it's good. Does that make sense? Like it was so fun shitting on it with all my friends, and the ADR was awful. The plot with Spider-Man being from the forest of spider people or something like that. I don't fucking know. I don't remember this movie, nor do you. But yeah, just very tasty trash. I mean, Madam Web is like an In-N-Out if like Rebel Moon is McDonald's, you know. That's my analogy, and that's what we'll end it on. So, thank you for watching.